Lakers Nation, what is going on, guys? So just now I saw a recent report coming out from Evan Siddery on his Twitter page, and it says that sharpshooter Dalton Knecht, the member of the Los Angeles Lakers, does remain a strong trade candidate for this team, especially if they do decide to chase a premium center target. Packaging Knecht and matching salaries alongside draft capital is still an appealing offer or option for teams that want to sell on their starting quality bigs. We all know that the Lakers need a starter level center. They want an athletic big that's young, that could be here for now, but also for the future, because he just traded for Luka Doncic. He's our franchise player. He's young. He's 26 years of age, and we all seen how Luka Doncic does with other bigs. For example, Derek Lively II, Daniel Gafford from the Dallas Mavericks. So he needs a lob threat. He needs a pick and roll. And the Lakers are trying to do that. They're also trying to get a backup center, a proven vet, right? Especially if the game's on the line and you can really count on him. But for what's best for this team, I think the Lakers' priority is the center position, and they might have to trade Dalton Knecht. They already did it once. They did trade him for Mark Williams around the trade deadline after the Luka Doncic shocking trade, one of the worst trades in Dallas Mavericks history. But it was a W for the Los Angeles Lakers. I believe they did include a 2030 pick swap first round and an unprotected 2031 first round pick. And really the consensus was like, did the Lakers overpay for Mark Williams? And some people were saying no, because you get a player which is like a 20-10 center, and that's without Luka Doncic, right? And you're playing with, LaMelo Ball on the Charlotte Hornets, but obviously, Luka Doncic is just way better than LaMelo Ball. But I do digress. They didn't add like Cam Reddish, but obviously the Lakers did waive him, so this was more of like an add-on, a salary filler. But this was more of like a draft capital and swap, if you get what I'm trying to say. But it's very apparent that the Lakers need to start a level center after getting dominated, like absolutely, dismantled, or I'm trying to use the word, like destroyed against, Rudy Gobert when he had that masterclass of game 5, 27 points, 24 rebounds. So the Lakers need a rebounder. They need three things: a lob threat, somebody that could just pick a roll, has a nice soft touch around the rim, the basket, and just do the dirty work, rim protect. The Lakers don't need like this all-star or superstar center. They just need a center that could just do three things. And that's all I'm asking for, right? I'm not asking for too much. But I do look at a team like the Utah Jazz. I still want Walker Kessler. He's my dream, scenario, or my, first option. Like, I really want him badly. You don't know how bad I want him. But the Utah Jazz, you know how Danny Ainge is. He likes to play hardball, and he likes to get the best for his, players. That just makes him a great GM, but he still won't come off the 2 first-round picks. But maybe you do include Dalton Knecht. I know Walker Kessler's going to a contract year. He's making around like $4.9 million, but he's going to become a restricted free agent the following season, 2026. So they do have, the bird rights, especially if any team tries to, offer more money. Pretty much Utah Jazz can, match the offer. But they have abundance of bigs. They have some forwards like John Collins. He's been, rumored and linked to the Los Angeles Lakers. You got Taylor Hendricks. He's a power forward. You got Bryce Sensaval, but he's like a small forward. You drafted Kyle Filipowski last year in 2024 from Duke, second round. You already got Lauri Markkanen. He's making around like $40+ million. He's their, star player. So they're going to have to get rid of some guys. And like, what are the Utah Jazz doing? Because at this point, it looks like they're trying to, rebuild, but at the same time trying to compete, right? I know Ace Bailey fell into the lap. Obviously, he was supposed to be like a top 3 pick, but he did skip his workouts, and he fell to the Utah Jazz at pick 5, right? But maybe you can include Dalton Knecht. Maybe you do include that 2031 first-round pick, but personally, I'm not giving up Dalton Knecht in a first-round pick. Maybe just, swap players. That would work, because Dalton Knecht has 3 years left on his deal. He's making around $4 million right now. Look at another team like the Phoenix Suns. They just drafted Kaman Malawach. Obviously, the Lakers, not the Lakers, but the Phoenix Suns did trade Kevin Durant, the day of the NBA Finals around 10 a.m. in the morning to the Houston Rockets. And in that trade, they got back 5 second-round picks, Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, and I believe it was like the 10th overall pick in this year's draft in the first round. So they got Kaman Malawach, South Sudan 7'2" center, and they just traded for Mark Williams, who was part of the Lakers trade, which was rescinded, but now he got traded to the Phoenix Suns, and they have like a logjam of centers. You got Iguodala, He was drafted last year, right? I believe it was like late first round or second round, but they have a logjam. I'm not sure if Mason Plumlee's still on their team, but he's a free agent. I'm hearing also Bull. He's not going to be back on their team, so he's a free agent. So they're pretty much rolling with Mark Williams and Kaman Malawad. So there's going to be teams that are willing to ship off their bigs. You look at a team like Portland, you got Dua Brief, but he's making around like $2.2 million. Maybe you could swap him for Dalton Knecht, but he's more of like a backup center. And he barely gets too much, playing time, like hardly at all. But you look at Robert Williams, he's someone that's making around like, what, $12-13 million, something around that range. But he's just injury prone, so maybe you have to expand the trade, maybe get some other pieces. But if you just do a swap and you're just matching salaries and including draft capital, then maybe a player like Nick Richards from, the Phoenix Suns does make sense. But I look at him more as a backup big, and I know the Phoenix Suns did trade for him around the trade line. But, well, guys, we just got a recent report coming from Evan Sittery that multiple teams have already sent in trade offers to the Phoenix Suns for Nick Richards. He'll be on a $5 million expiring contract, averaging 9.5 points per game and 8.6 rebounds in Phoenix, last season. If Richards was a free agent, he'll be one of the best centers available, but he has one more year left on his deal. He'll become unrestricted free agent in 2026, so maybe you can swap him for Dalton Knecht. Like, the contracts would just work. But I don't think he's worth the first round pick, Nick Richards. That's just personally me, and I look at him more of a backup big than a starting level big, even though he could play it. But Lakers fans, NBA fans in general, you guys let me know in the comment section, how do you guys feel about this report involving Dalton Knecht being a trade candidate? I know there's a lot of, Lakers fans that don't want to trade him, but there are some people that are willing to do it because we're in win-now mode, and we should do what's best for the team. The priority is a center. But Dalton Knecht, he's a gifted scorer. He's a natural scorer. He's dynamic. He likes to get to his spots. He operates in the mid-range game. He can shoot over the top. He's a 3-level scorer. He can get to the rim. He could pretty much create for himself and others. He's a playmaker, but also he's not a good, on-ball defender, so he's really poor. He shouldn't have the athleticism because of his, height and stuff like that. He's listed like 6'6", 6'7". He's listed as a small forward. But if you look at the stats, he's considered, if not one of the worst, defenders on his team, statistics-wise. But that's all I got for today's video. And more likely than not, he's going to be just a catch-and-shoot shooter for the Los Angeles Lakers, like 8th or 9th man rotation on this team. So that's why I'm willing to trade Dalton Knecht for the right piece. And it has to be a franchise center, like, long-term, because that's what Luka Doncic is looking for, and you want to please him. But, yeah, man, I'm out of your piece. Cheers.